A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second chat of the Dare Act series. Our endeavor with the Dare Act series is to bring forward stories of lawyers who've dared to act differently. Now, our guest for today is someone very special, and I'll tell you why. She's someone who's living two lives. She's a full-time corporate lawyer by the day and a comedian by night. A rare combination, right? Even I thought so. So let's bring on board Pooja Natrajan. Pooja, if you're there, just accept my request. Hello!
Hi. Can you hear
Am
me?
I audible enough?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, your voice is a little low. If you can come a little closer
Um,
to the screen, perhaps.
now?
Yeah,
Better?
better. How are you, Pooja?
All good.
Do
How are
you
you?
do you remember me now properly?
Yes. Yes. First floor, open space.
Yes, indeed. So, a very warm welcome to our second chat of the Dare Act series. Thank you for taking the time and being here.
Thank you. The pleasure is all
Um, Pooja, you may have to increase your volume a little because it's a little difficult for me
mine.
to
I'm so sorry.
catch.
Just a second.
Yeah,
One. Is it better now?
one sec. Let me see if it's my phone. Okay, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Let's go with this. Let's roll with this.
Perfect.
Okay, for just for the audience watching here, I just want to give a brief background because I'm really itched to do so. This lady out here is a very young lawyer. Mind you, she graduated in 2017 from GLC. The little stalking that I've done of her so far is has all it has told me is her resume is indeed commendable. With internships to being very active with the college activities to doing I don't know thousand other things. It's very impressive, and I think she kind of tick marks all the checklist of what attributes required to be a corporate lawyer for a tier one firm. For that is to say. However, there is a really fun and unique side of Pooja, which is that she does stand-up comedy and nowadays she's into improv as well. So I'm going to go straight to you, Pooja. Tell me, what's your story?
Well, I am just any other lawyer who likes to have a life outside of work. Simply put, because I'm a firm believer that law is only my livelihood. It is not my life. And having said that, I was in my final year when I had a lot of time in hand because I had a job offer in hand from a tier one firm, and I made a bucket list of things I want to do in my final year. So the first thing on the list was go up on stage and perform, and I did it, and I loved it, and I've just tried my best to continue doing it.
So was that an improv or did you prepare, like you had to prepare a script and go on stage?
Yeah, so the first time I went was for a proper stand-up show. It was an open mic. So I had put together like my first ever set and went up on stage and performed. Pretty much killed it for the first time. And yeah, and I was like, okay, this stage feeling is great and I'm going to have to keep doing it.
So basically, what you're saying is doing a stand-up show was just on your bucket list, and there was no whatsoever idea or plan associated to you pursuing it in the future. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
It's just things I just wanted to get out of my way. Before I
Wow.
start working and life changes, I was like, एक बार कर लेते हैं.
You're talking like a corporate lawyer. Life changes. It indeed changes, is what I
Yeah,
understand.
totally.
that that's amazing. So tell me, you're still pursuing. You're a full-time corporate lawyer. So, and I also know for a fact that stand-up comedy in general demands a lot of ideation, demands a lot of mind space. You have to work on the character, figure out the theme, take out time. How are you balancing the two?
Okay, to be honest, it was very difficult in the beginning. So when I started working in 2017, by 2018, I had given up on comedy altogether because, like you said, comedy requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of consistency, which honestly, with our working hours, was difficult to keep up with. Like, I would register and not turn up, and that was just a very bad thing to do in the comedy industry. So
Yeah.
yeah, however, then recently, like end of last year, I decided I needed to take like stock of things, and therefore I made like a job switch which allowed me to also give time to comedy, and I'm glad I made that switch because life has changed again for the good.
Indeed. And okay, so she worked at a tier one law firm for I think over 2 years. So you have slogged, you have given those hours, and at the same time you continued to do comedy, right?
Yeah.
Tell me something when you consciously decided, once your bucket list was done with and you decided that, look, this is what I do want to do, I do want to keep doing. um, I'll tell you the reason why I'm asking the question that I'm going to ask is from whatever I have seen in a space of a corporate environment, where, as lawyers, there's a persona that you need to carry where you're prim proper, where you watch your words, where you're very careful of what you're saying because of the immediate criticism or judgment that may just come your way in front of you or behind your back. First of all, did it happen with you? And if it did, how did you cope up with that?
So I was very consciously trying to maintain two personalities because I knew the minute a little bit of the comedic side comes into law, it is not going to be pretty whatsoever. So it was difficult for me. Sometimes, with some colleagues who I got really comfortable with while working, that side would come out. Some of them would appreciate it. Some of them would be like, aren't you a lawyer? Like, should you be like not funny? So judgment much. So yeah, it definitely was difficult. There were times when I was, I wouldn't say criticized. Okay, I was judged for it for having interests out of work, but yeah, but it was definitely difficult. I have gotten into trouble of sorts, trying to
Okay.
bring in a comedic side while talking. But
Oh my
when
god,
people
worst
said that
idea.
it was, yeah, I mean, yeah, I did get into trouble, but just chota trouble. That's fine.
Imagine there's a serious signing of a deal happening on the table, and here Pooja suddenly in her element gets up and he's like, okay, let me make the environment a little, easygoing. And all lawyers are going to be like, who is she? you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's a very dangerous thing to do. Like, although during these very long signing execution hours, late night hours, I have tried to bring that side out because it's just wanting to burst out and break the tension in the room. Because, like, guys, you need to chill out a little bit. But I
But
obviously,
tell me,
out of fear,
did
I
these
never did
judgments
that.
ever make you question your decision of pursuing comedy?
Um, it did. I would be honest, it did a little bit. I think, especially at a time when I was not able to give any time to comedy at all, the judgment made sense. I was like, okay, maybe they are right, After all, I
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing this. But but then slowly I realized, you know what? I'm right. Okay. Like it's okay to have fun. It's fine.
It's okay to have fun. And tell me something, was there a time period did you when you hid that you were doing this from people at work or even friends for that matter? There's a time,
Sorry.
experimental time where you don't want anybody to know. Was
That
that
I
there with
also
you?
do comedy. Yeah, yeah. For the longest time, I was like keeping it under wraps. Like people didn't know. Maybe at least 8 or 9 months of working. That's when slowly people started realizing because at that time I was quite active in the scene. So there'd be like some curated shows where once in a while Mumbai Mirror mein aayega and Pooja Natrajan, and then someone would be like, "Hey, is that you?" Like, yeah, but so yeah, but I think it came out of wraps, for lack of a better term, during the IDIA Football League opening night. where I
And
did
you
it
know,
as
and
well
to
in
be
my.
honest, and in fact, it came out of the rap for us also because I remember Tanisha, Neha, and I were at the IDIA Football League party, and they announced that comedian Pooja Natrajan, and I had not even looked at the stage, and then we turned around, we said, "Oh, isn't that the girl who's interning in Tier One firm?" And we were there, and I said, "Oh my God, who knew?" So yeah, we were caught by surprise, and I'm so glad that we saw you back then. Else we would have never probably had a conversation now. So grateful for that. Thank you for choosing comedy.
Thank you for choosing me.
Okay, so tell us, you know, corporate life and life as a comedian, you're pretty much living what I would say a Hannah Montana life. I remember as a kid, I used to be extremely intrigued with this series of Hannah Montana. Yeah, where she was like a normal, regular kid during the day and like a rock star by the night. And it's hard. I mean, to my little understanding, it can get a little overwhelming at all sometimes. So, balancing the two lives is one thing, but having lived that for a few number of years now, if you were to bring about certain similarities and dissimilarities in these two fields, is there something you would want to highlight?
Okay, so because I do a lot of improv nowadays, okay, so I'll just tell you how improv in general has also helped me in, handling my personality as a lawyer. So improv is a lot about yes anding somebody else's idea. It's basically to add on to something that someone else has said and build on it, right? So that has helped me as a lawyer where I'm listening to the other side much better. Am I stuck?
Yeah, in the middle, sometimes your screen freezes. Yeah, you're there and then you're not there. Do you
Okay,
want to try changing your
there's a
location maybe
Wi-Fi
a little
probably.
bit
Um,
towards? Okay, you're frozen
is it
again,
okay
Pooja.
now? Yeah, we are here. We are here. Yeah. Hi. Hi.
Yeah, yeah. I can see.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, because like I was saying, improv is a lot about yes anding the other person. So as a lawyer, I've started like I've improved my listening skills a lot because a lot of times, a lot of really bad arguments come from the other side. I'm toning down my language. Wherein I want to really lash out to what is this logic even, but to be calm down and be like, listen, I hear you. However, what you're saying sucks. So that has definitely helped me. But otherwise, from a similarities perspective between comedy performance and performing as a lawyer is a lot about patience and acceptance that sometimes what you're saying will not be liked by the other person, and also to developing a thick skin.
Hmm.
That is something
And, yeah,
both
agreed.
professions require.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is going to get hurt really quick. And
So getting
dissimilar.
thick skinned, sorry, getting thick skinned, you learned from your life as a lawyer, or you learned it from where did you learn it first?
As a lawyer, definitely.
Definitely.
Very soon, I was like, okay, listen, get thicker. Of course, the body shows a different sign altogether. But anyway, and about the dissimilarities, obviously humor. Like lawyers really need some colors in life. Like somewhere deep down, I'm still black and white.
See, I'm wearing colors today. Oh,
I'm still like, I think I
yeah.
still need to recover from that. So lawyers could definitely use some humor in their lives. But more than that, also acceptance in general, right? Comedy is a lot about acceptance, where, of course, people get offended. But within the community of comedians, if I may say so, there's an acceptance of what you are saying, that, of appreciating other people's ideas and thoughts. Probably even lawyers could be a little more accepting of other people's ideas. I'm not saying they're not, but comparatively, there's a lot more acceptance amongst comedians. What other dissimilarities? I think
Okay, you were
Did I get
frozen in
stuck?
again. Yeah.
Yeah, I said I think comedians are cooler than lawyers.
I'm sorry, comedians are?
Cooler, way cooler.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's about the dissimilarities. And like you said, like as a lawyer and definitely as a corporate lawyer, you are supposed to carry yourself in a particular way and behave in a particular way. Be very calculated in what you're saying and what you're doing. But if you're going to calculate too much in comedy, then there's the humor. So
Do
yeah,
you think
so
we
you
should
can
have more comedy sessions for lawyers? Like
definitely
probably
see.
have a
First, yeah, see, first of all, this no legal humor is unfortunately limited to are you a liar? That is the most
yeah.
like just stop saying it, okay? And then see a lot of legal humor is about the litigation part of it, the courtroom humor, courtroom drama, because that's what unfortunately people have been fed also in mainstream cinema, if I may say so. But there is a lot of scope for corporate law humor. Like there is so much content
Yeah.
out there. I think maybe amongst all the corporate lawyers, we could first develop a sense of humor, and then hopefully other people will start realizing that there is a lot of humor here also. So yeah, we could use humor.
That's actually very interesting. So since you've lived a life of a corporate lawyer in a tier one firm, if you were given a chance to make a change in whatever capacity, what would be the top of your list that this is something which definitely needs a redo?
People should be nicer, you know, just be nice to each other. Like I said, be more accepting of other people's ideas and also just be nice. It's not that difficult to be nice to
So do you
others. So I
think
think,
you mentioned about being nicer, but I think, do you think they always come, like when they come to an organization, they're already not nice? Or is it that in the environment that you're spending so much time in is where your kind of judgments change, your opinions change, your expectations change? So what is it? Because I don't think people are, not so nice
yeah,
before.
it probably happens over a period of time. It's probably somewhere down there in the culture, somewhere, for lack of a better term again. I'm not saying people are like law students when they get out of law college. It's not like they are not nice people. But once you get into the organization setting, either when you were an intern, some senior treated you badly, so you continue to treat your juniors badly because you think that is the way to go, or you see other people treating other people badly, so it's like, okay, you know what? I think that's the norm, so let me also not be nice. So, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, shouldn't it be the other way? But okay. So definitely, I would
Yeah.
want to change is people being nicer to each other. Simple.
That's wonderful. So you mentioned something in the beginning which is very interesting when you said that law is not my life. It is only my livelihood. Something around those lines. And you seem very, very clear about it. So was there clarity during your college days as well, or is it something that you've understood in the last 3 years?
Was there clarity during my course when I was pursuing? Sorry, the voice
Yeah, yeah.
got stuck. So you say when I was pursuing law, did I know at that point of time? No, no, definitely not. At that point of time, I was very clear that I need to become a corporate lawyer. And of course, I didn't have any aspirations as such that I want to move up in the ranks or anything, but I wanted to be a corporate lawyer only. Like I was like, मेरे को litigation try भी नहीं करना है.
हाँ.
And
नहीं,
I was
but एक
very
बात
clear.
बताओ, Pooja, in terms of, the livelihood, because what happens is, as a corporate lawyer, most of the time, you start with a very decently well package, monetarily, which makes you happy and it is fairly satisfying. Now, when we look at your journey, where you worked really hard for 2.5 years, and then you decided to, probably go to a smaller, more niche law firm and continue your practice. Can you hear me?
Yeah, 2.5 years
Yeah.
and continue your practice.
Yeah, continued practicing both the law and the comedy. So, of course, there are certain compromises and certain hits we all take. It could be in the way in a standard of living, or perhaps even, monetarily. Was that something you had to think about, or were you very, very clear that it's not the money for me at this point of time?
Definitely the latter, because I knew I knew that I was giving up something huge to be able to, also do comedy. So I was aware of it and I was not afraid of it, because for me, what was important was that I'm just generally happier in life, because I had become this very negative person who would just keep cribbing all day about work. And I didn't want to be that person anymore. So that was one. And second was, obviously, I just wanted to be happy. I know
Yeah.
this sounds very cliche, but when someone asked me, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? It was not the interview, just someone gently asked me, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I was like, I would like to see myself happier than I am right now. So yeah, that is when I was like, okay, listen, I think I can make this happen. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's so good to hear from a young lawyer that, because maybe perhaps the times are changing, so the ideologies are different, but at least, like, I'm 2 batch senior than you perhaps, but I knew till my batch all of us had like a rat race mentality where we knew we had to do a particular profession in the legal fraternity, and all our time, effort, attention will go in that 100%. And what I did notice is, some of us do make the conscious choice of taking a step back and kind of moving away, and find alternatives. But there are people who kind of get stuck in that race, and then it's just too hard, to let go. And if you see the kind of case, and like you said, sometimes people do end up cribbing, and I think to some extent that
I
attitude
lost
comes when you're compromising on your habits.
I lost you.
Okay, I'm not sure what you heard last.
Yeah, so you were saying that you have made like a lot of compromises, and lawyers generally don't take a lot of time when they realize that, okay, now life is out of
Then
control.
it's too late.
Yeah, now it's too late. Can you
Yeah, so
just give me a second? Let me just see if the router is fine. Just one
yeah,
second.
yeah,
I'll just
absolutely,
run.
absolutely, please. All of you watching here, if you want to know something about Pooja from Pooja, do drop in a comment.
Hi, I hope it is better now. I really hope.
Oh my god, you should have done this before, Pooja. It was
Technology was
like,
supposed to make life easier.
oh my god, you should have done this before. Chalo, nonetheless, it's
I'm
okay.
so
Better
sorry.
late
I'm
than
so
never.
sorry.
It's okay, it's completely fine. So, yes,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, thank God for,
No!
some. Okay, now it's hung. Yeah, 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 there. Okay, now you're confusing me if it's you or it's just a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
shaky.
yeah. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the overlords don't want you to ask this question.
Yeah, that's interesting. And why do you think that is?
It's a conspiracy,
It's a
because they'll find
conspiracy.
out the truth. Sorry, anyway, continue, please.
No, no, let's just say the whole world is a joke. It's a
Yeah,
cosmos of chaos.
I say this line quite often, that जब जिंदगी ही मजाक है तो कॉमेडी क्या करे? So,
Oh
sorry,
man, we have to see you. We have to see you do more legal comedy, yeah, just for the legal community. I think it'll be a lot of fun because you'll be really relatable.
thank you. Yes, I'm going to build on that. I'm going to build on that.
Do that. Sure. Okay, so before I ask you about your upcoming project, I want to ask you this one last question, which is that, um, so you're already 2-3 years into the profession. If you were to give one advice or a suggestion to somebody who may be looking at pursuing corporate law, and I'm sure must be extremely passionate about it, but yet at the same, so some are people who are yet to join, and some are people who are already in a phase where you were at some point of time, contemplating what to do, leave passion, leave fun, and not that work can't be fun. Of course work can be fun, but may not be as happy as they would like to be. What would your suggestion be to them?
Uh, See, my suggestion would be, just figure out what your priorities in life are. if you want law firm.
Okay, Pooja, you're frozen again. Okay, one sec. Yeah, you'll have to repeat once again. So you said figure out what your priorities are.
Yeah, figure out what your priorities are. And if you really want to pursue corporate law and probably become a partner in a law firm someday, then be prepared to do it. It is going to be difficult. Just, just know that it is going to be a difficult journey. You may have to give up some things in life, but if you feel that it is worth it, then please do it. Don't question yourself. Because I have known friends, I have known colleagues who were really committed and they really wanted to do corporate law. Of course, I looked up to them. That I was like, okay, wow, I wish I had that high dedication. Okay, because I didn't. I was a hard worker, but I was not like, oh my god, law is everything. I wasn't like that. But I have seen people who do that. So if you are happy doing it and if you really want to do it, great. But if it is making you too miserable and you start questioning your own sanity, then maybe take a step back. It's not wrong to put yourself first, is what I would say. Even if you are kind of conditioned to feel that work comes first, which is fair, it happens. If you're okay with that mindset, great, go for it. But if you think, okay, maybe I don't want to put work first and I want to put myself first, go for it. And I would not say that before it's too late, because har bande ka late alag hoga. Like for me, I felt okay, 2 years, like about 26 odd months is late enough. Let's probably make a switch. But otherwise, so yeah, just keep asking yourself, what is it that you really want to do? What are your priorities? And it's okay to question yourself, even if you can't question others. It's okay to question yourself and just get your priorities right. That is one advice this Nachis will give.
Perfect. And like it's straight, like it's just straight out there. Prioritize, figure out what you really want to do. And I think, yeah, I think what happens is when you enter the culture, I think you start getting conditioned by what's happening around you, and you forget to ask yourself the question that why am I here in the first place, right? I think then it becomes really, really important to get back on track and be like kyun aayi yahan pe? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Okay, so now something very, very interesting. There's something called as a comedy project by Comedy Central that you're a part of. And there's a very interesting character that you're playing, which I have no idea about. Actually, I do. I just don't want to say it because I don't know how to pronounce the name. So I'm going to leave it to you. Tell us, what is this project all about? What is it that you are doing in the project? And tell it to a legal community, how can we come and support you?
Sure. So thank you so much. I am a participant on this show called the Sterling Reserve Comedy Project Season 2 on Comedy Central. And this is, it's a hunt for India's next best stand-up comedian. And this is completely based on votes. So I will come to that. And there are 5 total episodes, and 3 episodes have been telecasted. Each episode is, exploring a different genre of comedy. There was some kind of restriction, like here there was a character involved in one of the rounds. So yeah, each round is a different genre of comedy, and 10 very, very good comedians, including yours truly, is is on the show. And the link to the show is in my bio. People can go check it out, and they can just simply Google. We lawyers do a lot of research. They can just simply Google, Sterling Reserve Comedy. In fact, you can just do Comedy Central project, and you will get it. I'm pretty sure.
Don't worry. We'll tag your name after this IGTV goes live, and it'll be easy for everyone to go and check it out. So tell us about your character. Tell us about your theme. Tell us what inspires you. Yeah.
Yeah, so the 3rd episode of this show was a sketch character round, wherein each contestant was given a particular cue for a character, and we had to build on that character and go for an interview with Varun Thakur, the host of the show, he has a very famous character called Vicky Malhotra. So it was an interview between two characters, essentially. And my character Q was a daily soap vamp, which I was very excited to receive because I think somewhere deep down, I am probably a daily soap vamp. In my behavior, of course. Maybe not my looks, but definitely my behavior. Sometimes I can get really vampy. But thankfully, no one at work has seen that side of me yet. Anyway, so that was the character Q. And like I said, I do a lot of improv, and improv also has a lot of character work that we do. So I really got into the zone wherein I, put up an outline for what the character should be like. I went for a name. The name is Katyayani. Yeah, I love that name. I had a friend back in school, and I just really like this name. It has I'm not saying the name is vampy, but and I think she's on this live. And the name is not vampy, but the name. Hi, Katyayani. And but the name has a weight to it, right? Like I went for a komolika kind of a enigma. So I went for the name Katyayani, and then I kind of made a backstory because every character has a backstory. They need to have some motivation. So I was like, why does Katyayani want to go for a job interview? So then I came up with a backstory that she's trying to get back at her best friend who just away and everything. So please go watch the episode. It was very, very fun. I don't know if it's funny. You have to tell me if it's funny, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, and of course the inspiration for was, like I said, Komolika from Zindagi, who is probably the only benchmark for vamps in India. Like, you have to be a Komolika or you're not a vamp. And the other character Q the other inspiration was, there was this sketch by AIB called If Apps Were People, in which Mallika Dua played the character of Tinder aunty. And I took inspiration from that also and put together and got my own inner vamp out. And inner vamp out. And I had like a voice that I wanted to achieve, a particular tone, a particular language, like the usage of words, my hand gestures and everything. So yeah, I put together a character, and then the round itself was pretty much improvised because we didn't know how the interview was going to go. So whatever is happening in the round is pretty much on the spot. So I hope people enjoy it. And it's very close to what I do, improv. So I'm glad that it turned out pretty fun.
Oh, wonderful and very interesting. So do you enjoy improv more, or was stand-up comedy more of your thing? Pooja?
I'm going to throw my Wi-Fi away, but I enjoy improv more, definitely. Because one, like I said, stand-up itself requires a lot of time and consistency. I am not saying improv doesn't require time and consistency, but stand-up is about taking one particular joke and trying it out for years and improving on it so that you make sure that it just works every time you're on stage. But I got bills to pay, and I'm still going to be a lawyer for the foreseeable future. So improv allows me to just be in the moment and come up with content like right there on the spot, spontaneously. So where there's like lesser pressure for me to like write something and then go, whereas I just go and just be myself, or I just break into a character like Katyayani. So works great every time, almost.
Wonderful. And what's even more interesting is I love your energy right now. I mean, I don't know if I would, if we were having this conversation in an office, we would get the same vibe, but it's so good to see the other side of, so I don't know if you know, we have this series called Unsuited, and the whole endeavor was to get lawyers to unsuit themselves, and just get their true nature out. And it's so good to see you all jolly and happy, and I wish you all the very best, and please continue to do all of these interesting characters, and I hope someday you will do some really crazy improv for the legal fraternity as well. The Grey Matter has a community, and we're building up a further community with lawyers who've dared to act differently, and we thank you for choosing to be a part of that community. For everyone else, thank you so much for joining, and I will ensure that we tag Pooja in the post with us. Please go vote for her. I did my part, and I think that's the whole point, is to support each other. So why not, right? And
Yes.
thank you, Pooja. And
Thank you.
despite the Wi-Fi, you've been fairly entertaining. So we had a great fun time with you.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm so sorry, but like I said, technology was supposed to make lives easier. I lost you again.
It's okay. Please, it's okay. It's completely fine. I got the emotion behind your content, which couldn't get conveyed. So don't worry.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and we hope to see you perform live soon. So yeah, that too.
Yeah, I think all the lawyers could really use some humor. So yeah, sure. Soon, inshallah, soon.
Yes, and all the very best for the comedy project too.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great
Thank you,
weekend. Thank you
Pooja.
so much for having me.
You too. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.